All right. Well, today we're sitting in a 2011 Hyundai Sonata, the SE Turbo. I've taken the airbag off. What I'm going to do is replace the clock spring, which is the yellow part. You can see right down here is a label on it. It's what makes all the wires be able to stand when you're turning the steering wheel. So to take off the airbag, I took off the negative of the battery. Left it sitting. I left it sitting for a couple hours. The people on the internet said either 5 minutes to an hour. So I did an hour just to be safe, or over an hour. So to take the airbag off, it's got 3 pegs. One goes in each of these holes. There's little pin releases on it. Let me show it to you here. If you look on the back of it here, there's little pins. You're supposed to keep it the other way down. But as you depress these little pins in, that allows it to pop up out of the little holder for it. So there's 3 of them. One's here, one's there, and one's right here. So what you do is you push those little pins in. I did it with a tiny screwdriver. And the holes are right back here behind this. Let me see if I can get a flashlight. There's the hole there. So I got a screwdriver, poked it in that little hole there. Hopefully my camera just didn't rotate. And popped it out, pulled forward on it a little bit as I was poking it in. All right. So this is when you take off the airbag. You want to be a little bit careful. I'm probably overly cautious. I don't really want to sit directly in front of it or anything, because it could projectile horribly and kill us all. So there's 2 tabs. Both these orange ones, you lift up on the orange. It pops out in a way which allows the plug to come out. And then that top white one right here, this one's for the horn. It just pops right off, no problem, I say. There we go. So you just pop it up out of the way, because you'll need to keep that out of the way for when you pull the steering wheel off. So underneath here, I'll see if I can do it while I'm watching. You touch something metal too, bzz, 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 make sure you don't have any static, depending on what you're wearing and where you work and live. You just pop these little tabs up a little bit. All right. So here they are in their full popped up state. As you can see, you kind of just fit a screwdriver right underneath the edge of them. And then they just pop right up and out, and then you can just actually unplug it. 1 and 2. And then your airbag is out. So you want to store it this side down in case it projectiles or anything weird. That the airbag comes out the top and doesn't throw the whole unit up into the air and knock someone's face out or something. What I'm going to do now is, underneath here, we have the main shaft of the steering wheel, and we need to mark it with a color. You can see how there's a mark on it now, but we're going to mark underneath it and above it with 2 different colors. So once I get the steering wheel off, after I take this bolt off, or the nut off, then I'm going to be able to pull the whole steering wheel off toward me, and those marks will allow me to be able to see how to put it back on again. So we're going to do that. All right, back again. As you can see, I made my blue marks on the top, black mark on the bottom. I've already loosened this. It took a little bit of doing. I had to actually have someone else hold the steering wheel for me. But now we can just roll this off of here. It's a 7/8. Luckily it can't fall in the motor. Little screw there. I'm just going to put that down there. So now, in theory, I should be able to pop this little washer off there. Let me get a screwdriver to pop it with. You're going to want to put this on afterward too. This is what locks the bolt in place. Previously when I said you have to put lines on it, that was on the bolt itself to see how tight it needs to go back on. But as you can see here, this is the main part you need to put the lines on. Is right below and above this, because this is the actual part that your steering wheel is going to be left or right on when you're putting it back together. Alright, so once you have that second bolt off in there, you want to unplug this clip because it's part of the steering wheel itself. This will be already unplugged. You unplug that from the airbag. These are the 2 airbag clips. They're connected to the clock you can see in there. So actually you want to pull off the whole steering wheel. Now I made that look really easy. That took a lot of tugging and wiggling back and forth before it would pop off there. So you can set the steering wheel aside. Just put it into the outer darkness there. Alright, so this is the clock spring you're trying to get out right here. Once inside, you want to take off this top cover. It actually sits here on top like this. There's 2 screws there. Just pop this top cover up, set it up out of the way. And what's held into, I'll get my flashlight here. You see that little clip right there in the bottom corner? Try to get a focus on it. Yeah, that little clip there. On the opposite side, there's another little clip there. You can see that. Then there's one right up here on top. So we're going to pop those 3 clips off. You're not supposed to rotate that as little as possible. Down here's a little clip. I'm going to have to put down this camera again to be able to get to it. Those 3 clips. Hang on. So to get better at it, I took off the bottom cover here of the steering column so I could get at these plugs underneath here. We unplug this white one here. It's already come out. We're going to work on unplugging this yellow one. There's probably some little crafty trick to how you do it. Sorry, my camera doesn't focus on things very well. It doesn't really know what I'm trying to do. Anyway, so when we get those cables out, and the whole thing should lift. You see it moves already. It should lift straight off. So we'll see. Alright, got the part off, no problem. Here we go. This is the old one. Inside of there is where the cable breakage is happening and having some issues. So, good to know. You can see here, this clip, to unclip it, you got to pull down on this little lever here. And the whole thing will pop right off. So I've tried not to move anything as far as the steering column or anything any more than I could help. Hopefully this will not mess up anything long term, but hey, it's the first time I've done this. We'll see how it goes. I got my new one here. I got the dealers wanted $130 to $160 for it. I got it on Amazon for $17. Maybe a horrible idea, maybe a horrible choice. But, I mean, hey, that's pretty cheap, all things considered. So, I'm going to take up the tape on it, sort it all out, put it back on here. Continuing video, pretty much it's the opposite of whatever I did to reassemble it. So just watch this in reverse.